We've come to the Donetsk region to open the exhibition project called Yellow Line. In each participating museum, we are presenting local cultural heritage, which is at risk of disappearing. Afterward, in each city we'll install 5 informational posters about its cultural heritage.
The journey began in Slavyansk. In the spring of 2014, this resort town became a center for Russia-backed separatists. Today it's a quiet town, with many outdoor mosaics and a long, rich ceramics tradition.
We definitely need to remove the speaker and extension cord. Let's try it right now. One there, the other here. Ask for the speaker to be removed.
But we have to play music.
What kind of music?
You know, something elegant. The local history museum has been working with Olha Honchar's team for 3 years. Through the project, the museum has received photo equipment, tablets, and a drone.
It is interesting that drones are usually used by the Ukrainian security service, by the police and those kind of organizations.
They ran a training session and decided to document it. Only I don't understand. Why document the training from above?
Well, probably to show the scale.
Our country has declared this year the Year of Cultural Heritage Preservation. And today, the Kyiv Media Center is presenting an exhibition on this theme. Right? And here is our guest, Olha Honchar.
Across Ukraine there is a huge problem with preserving cultural heritage, mosaics, sculptures, houses of culture. We'd like to draw attention to all these things with our Yellow Line project, so that in the future these pieces of our heritage could be preserved.
The opening was attended by the older local intelligentsia. Ceramic artists energetically discussed whether it is possible to preserve the city's mosaics at all.
Who will be able to save them? We've seen the photos, we all understand that they are falling apart. Yes, but who will save them?
Well, we already started by making a photo exhibit. Someone can continue by thinking of a way to preserve at least one mosaic. Together, step by step. One does this, another does that. I think that's the only way.
The museum has to hold exhibitions, so it does. They showed my exhibition. It was a bit more interesting because I spoke about all this. And I could hang your portrait here, and it would look beautiful.
Our exhibition is about the need to respect any kind of work, no matter when it was made. Right now, everything depends on us. Our contribution will not cause an immediate shift, like everybody will run to preserve mosaics. But the first step is turning attention to this issue.
Next was the Drushkivka Local History Museum. The city of Drushkivka was once a center for ceramic production. The museum collection includes countless porcelain pieces, but the local exhibition organizers hid it behind the display boards. So they decided to rearrange the exhibition 1 hour before the opening.
I'd like to introduce to you a unique person who's come from Lviv. She's the director of the Territory of Terror Museum.
We were right this morning and rearranged the entire exhibition, putting everybody out. But sometimes these things happen.
In the late 1950s, architects planned the city's development around a central square. As a result, the city center is far from its industrial zones. It has wide streets and comfortable residential areas. The museum's greatest treasure is its ceramic collection. During Soviet times, Drushkivka's ceramic factories produced goods for the entire USSR. However, since the 2000s, Drushkivka's ceramics can't compete with imported products, and most of its factories are closing.
Once these cat figurines were popular, and everybody was making cats, elephants. Now private enterprises are essentially doing the same thing. The kind of production that people buy, that's what they're interested in. Now we are headed to the museum in Pokrovsk as the Yellow Line project continues. The Pokrovsk Museum developed the exhibition itself. We are more like partners helping with communication, organization, design, printed the display boards. But the content was developed by the museum staff. The exhibition will focus on the city's architecture and cultural monuments from the beginning of the 19th century through to the end of the 20th.
We've arrived in Pokrovsk. It's a railroad town. The people are open and want to show us their city and tell us about it.
It is our pleasure to welcome you to the opening of the exhibition along the city's old path, which is part of the Yellow Line project. We work because of and for the sake of our visitors. I want to thank you personally for participating in the project and to give you this little present as a memento of the city of Pokrovsk. When you drink from this cup, you'll remember our little city.
It has a new logo as well.
Yes, with the new logo.
This local history museum is unique in that a group of volunteers works here, organizing exhibitions and trying to expand the collection. One of them is Alexander, who came from the Dnipropetrovsk region to study at the college in Pokrovsk.
We come here often, once every 2 weeks, sometimes once a week. All sorts of events take place here. Visitors come here because they want to learn about the history of their native land and other things.
After the exhibition opening, the head of the city's cultural department showed us the city's newly renovated library.
The library interior has been renovated. City residents were never allowed in this section, but now these rooms are for civic organizations. The city provided funding and we made the renovation. People who work in culture always say that there's never enough funding. I'm not talking about stars, but basic necessities. Here we don't have these problems. There used to be a room here. It was half empty, with books, some shelves. Nobody knew what it was for. And now it's a dance studio.
Pokrovsk also boasts examples of monumental art. The museum director agreed to show us a mosaic in the local university. An athletic man slices into cosmic space and launches a satellite like a handball player. This is Kostiantynivka. This city is 40 kilometers from the contact line. In the late 19th century, Belgian entrepreneurs established the first factories here. Today, few people remember these ties with Europe, and hardly any large manufacturing plants remain. The city's pride is glassmaking.
The leaders of the Soviet Union decided to replace the old glass in the stars atop the 5 Kremlin towers. This task was given to the glass industry. It was executed by our factory Autoglass 25. The glass was then transported to Moscow, and there it was cut to make the ruby stars. During the World War II, they were damaged and replaced by others.
Besides the stars, many gigantic things were made in Kostiantynivka. For example, a large boot, or the 2-meter-high bottle of Soviet champagne, which was displayed during May 1st celebrations. The museum also has the machines that were used for heating and blowing the glass.
Later, glass was dripped into this, but earlier, a glass blower used a tube to blow out the glass. This press was located below floor level. See how it is in the illustration. And when the glass blower blew out the bottle there, he pressed this lever and a bottle appeared.
The exhibition in Kostiantynivka was about the history of cooperation between Belgian entrepreneurs and Ukrainian workers. Belgium's Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Michel Versailles, even came to the opening. The last stop was the coal mining town Dobropilya. It has no local museum, so the exhibition was held at the Palace of Culture at the Dobropilya mine. Local activists organized and formed the exhibition themselves.
Our exhibition presents two estates. One is the estate of colonist Suderman in the village Zelena. It's a magnificent building and pretty complex architecturally, made in the style of eclecticism.
Although they organized the exhibition, they did not want to invite anyone to the opening, explaining that it's the weekend, the schools are under quarantine. So Olha Honchar opened the exhibition in an intimate atmosphere.
As a follow-up to this project, we want to install display boards in 5 locations in Dobropilya, informing people about the buildings presented here. So we'll send you the photos, the video.
Good, good.
That's all. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Our position is that we can help with our experience, with our contacts, fortify the strong sides. But we are in no way those people or that institution that can come and take responsibility to turn all of this into a gem. As a team, we can help by sharing our methods, knowledge, working approaches, contacts, and by supporting whatever you can. So we're like consultants, maybe, and we can show other possible ways of working.
For me, this was a short but intense first trip to the Donbas. But for Olha and the entire project team, it was one of many trips aimed at accomplishing one global and slightly romantic goal: revitalizing cultural life in small cities.